Hi, my name is Megan Bronner, and I'm here today to tell you about a 2nd century CE statue from Gandhara. It's a statue of the Bodhisattva Maitreya, and it can be found in the Indian art collection at the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art in Kansas City, Missouri. Buddhism began with one man named Siddhartha, who lived around the 5th century BCE. We know him today as the Buddha Shakyamuni. The teaching is that Shakyamuni endured many lifetimes, taking the form of men and beasts, before he finally was born into his final lifetime. During this final lifetime, he renounced his wealth as a king, he left his wife and his children, and he went into the wilderness to meditate. He meditated for many years and practiced many austerities before reaching enlightenment. A Buddha is any person that has reached enlightenment. When he was about 80 years old, Shakyamuni died. We say that his body went into parinirvana. This is to say that he would not experience any more rebirths. Shakyamuni's body was cremated and his remains were divided among 10 kings. His remains were placed under monuments which we call stupas. They were basically solid, dome-like mounds under which the relics would be placed. The image of the stupa became very popular and began to spread all over India. The stupas represent the early period of Buddhism in which the Buddha Shakyamuni was not represented physically. He was represented symbolically or aniconically. The stupa was then the representation of the Buddha himself. This method of depiction, or rather lack of depiction, has been specified by the Buddha Shakyamuni himself before his death. In his humility, he did not wish to be portrayed in sculpture or in painting. This tradition of aniconic art reaches further back before Buddhism to Hindu tradition. For the Hindus, the gods were invisible yet powerful beings who could be approached only through symbol. The most well-known and prevalent instance is the linga, a stone emblematic of the Hindu god Shiva. Aniconic art continues to persist in Buddhism until around the 1st century Common Era. During this time, Mahayana Buddhism became popular, in which this type of Buddhism stressed a personal relationship with deities and did not condemn the portrayal of the Buddha within art. Mahayana Buddhism also placed a great emphasis on bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas are men who have reached enlightenment and are therefore Buddhas, but they have chosen to stay on this earth in order to be teachers to the people on earth. One can tell the difference between a Buddha and a Bodhisattva in sculpture because the Bodhisattva will often be shown with elaborate jewelry and robes, whereas the Buddha will be shown very simply with no adornment. This is in order to show the humility of the Buddha Shakyamuni. Right now we are looking at the Bodhisattva Maitreya. Maitreya is the Bodhisattva of the future. Maitreya is a Bodhisattva of this world age, though he will be a teaching Buddha of the next. The heaven assigned to Maitreya is Tushita heaven. There are many different traits that tell us that this is indeed the Bodhisattva Maitreya. First of all, Maitreya usually has a top-knot hairdo known as a kundika, which is comprised of a double loop of bound hair. He holds a flask occasionally containing the elixir of love, symbolizing the promise of future salvation. Most Maitreyas from this area are shown standing, just like this statue is. It is also possible that the sculptors in this area were influenced by the Romans via the Silk Route. Bases often have small depictions of relics, devotees, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas. Indian sculpture was produced in a variety of material, from terracotta to basalt to jade. This statue is made from a stone called phyllite. This statue, in fact, did not come from India at all, but from an area called Gandhara. Gandhara is the ancient name of a northwest region of Pakistan, bounded on the west by the Hindu Kush mountain range and to the north by the foothills of the Himalayas. In 330 BC, Alexander the Great conquered the people of this area, and together with the Indo-Greek kings that succeeded him, he introduced a classical style that would become very popular among the art in this area. Additionally, he created contact between this area in Pakistan and also the Greek colonies. In the late 1st to mid-2nd century CE, a king named Kanishka came to power in this area. King Kanishka was part of a dynasty called the Kushan dynasty. The Kushan dynasty was a Central Asian dynasty that ruled portions of Afghanistan and India during the first 3 centuries CE. The rule of King Kanishka also included present-day Uzbekistan and Afghanistan. It was a great period marked by extensive wealth and trade, as well as an extension of Buddhist thought, culture, and an expansion of urban life. I hope you have learned something today, whether it be about the Kushan dynasty, the area of Gandhara, or, most importantly, the Bodhisattva Maitreya and his relationship to the Buddhist religion. Thank you for joining me.